You're probably sitting on the porch after a round, scrolling through a dozen launch monitors on Amazon, and wondering if any of them actually live up to the hype. The fear of dropping a few $100s on a piece of tech that ends up gathering dust is real, especially when you're trying to improve your swing without spending every spare minute on a pricey simulator. I get that if you could just know whether this particular setup will actually give you useful data on the course you play most, and not just in a sterile lab, you'd feel a lot better about the investment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Foresight Sports GC3 bundle pairs a launch monitor with a built-in rangefinder, and it's marketed as a portable solution for both indoor and outdoor use. What separates it from a generic smartphone app is the trio of precision cameras that track the ball from launch to landing, delivering club head speed, launch angle, spin rate, and even detailed shot shape data. Because there's no monthly subscription, the cost you see up front is the cost you pay, which is something a lot of golfers appreciate after seeing subscription traps on other platforms. Let's break down what that means in a typical golfer's life. Imagine you're a mid-handicap player, say a 15 handicap, who hits the driving range a few times a month but also squeezes in a quick 9-hole round on the weekends. You're not looking to build a full-blown home simulator, you just want to understand why that driver keeps slicing on the course. With the GC3, you can set it up on a portable tripod, point the cameras at your tee area, and instantly see a visual overlay of your launch path on your phone or tablet. The data isn't just numbers, it's a visual flight path that helps you spot whether you're consistently hitting the ball too low, too high, or offline. One of the real strengths here is the no-subscription model. Many launch monitors bundle the hardware with a mandatory data plan that can add $20, $30 a month to your bill. The GC3's cameras capture everything locally, and the app processes it on the device. That makes it a one-time purchase that doesn't bleed you over time, which is a tangible value for anyone budgeting for equipment upgrades. Now, who actually benefits from this bundle? If you're a serious amateur or a teaching professional who wants reliable metrics without building a dedicated indoor studio, the GC3 hits a sweet spot. Its portability means you can take it to a practice facility, a backyard, or even a hotel room if you travel for tournaments. The built-in rangefinder also eliminates the need for a separate GPS device, so you get distance to the pin while you're also analyzing your swing. For a golfer who likes to mix practice sessions with on-course play and wants to see course management insights like how your spin changes on different fairways, the system provides data that's immediately applicable. On the flip side, if you're a total beginner who just wants to know how far you can hit a ball, you might find the GC3 overkill. The interface shows a lot of data, and while the app tries to simplify it, there's a learning curve to interpreting spin rate or attack angle. Some users have mentioned that the initial setup takes a few minutes of tweaking camera angles, especially when moving between indoor lighting and bright outdoor conditions. That's not a deal breaker, but it does mean you need to be comfortable with a bit of trial and error before you get consistent readings. Another practical consideration is the space requirement. Even though the cameras are compact, you still need a clear line of sight from launch to landing, roughly 30 feet for most drivers. In a cramped garage or a tight indoor range, you might have to limit yourself to iron shots or use a net to catch the ball. For people who live in apartments or have only a small backyard, that could be a hidden trade-off that isn't obvious in the spec sheet. Performance-wise, the 3-camera setup gives you a level of accuracy that rivals many pricier, fixed installation systems. The data is solid enough for a coach to base swing adjustments on, and for a player to track trends week over week. Because the GC3 records both club and ball data, you can compare how a new driver's speed translates into actual distance, not just a theoretical number. That kind of insight is where the value really shows up. Outside of the pretty numbers hype, you get a feedback loop that can guide equipment changes, like whether a lower lofted driver actually helps you gain yards on your typical swing. However, there are some practical weaknesses that show up after the purchase. The battery life on the cameras, while decent for a few hours of continuous use, does drain faster if you're running the system outdoors in cold weather. You'll want to keep a spare power bank handy if you plan a long-range session. Also, because the device stores data locally, you'll need to sync it to your